calling all Broadway fans. The highly anticipated musical Be More Chill is finally open. It's based on a novel that follows the journey to self-discovery of a teen named Jeremy as he navigates the high school social scene. Actor and Grammy Award winner Will Roland plays the lead role. CBS This Morning contributor Jamie Wax sat down with Will. They talked about where his Broadway career began, starring as Jared Kleinman in the musical Dear Evan Hansen.
That's quite a welcome to Broadway to have that experience.
It was in so many ways a dream come true. It was like to create that role, to have it be this piece of new musical theater that I felt was important and bold and interesting, and then to have it be received in the way that it was. I mean, nowadays people are like, oh, Dear Evan Hansen. It's like, you know, it's a Dear Evan Hansen hit. And it's like, well, when we were creating Dear Evan Hansen, it was not so obviously a hit in our own minds, you know,
really?
Given its, well, I mean, I think, you know, on paper, it's a musical family drama with no big dance numbers, and it's about a suicide in a high school and a young man who lies about being friends with the deceased boy. It's like, you present that on paper, and there's a lot of people who'd be like, I think I'm going to pass on this. Thank you.
It's not The Music Man.
Yeah, it's not The Music Man. So the fact that it was so well received, I think, is really a sort of statement about what audiences are looking for these days at the theater.
Dear Evan Hansen also did something that is very difficult to do on Broadway. A lot of people try, it doesn't always work, but energized a truly young fan base. And that's something that's true of the project you are now working on Broadway, Be More Chill.
Yeah, the Dear Evan Hansen fans came out to Be More Chill in droves. They discovered it in the summer of 2015. The production happened in New Jersey. I auditioned for it. I got like super excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna nail this. You know, I called my agents that day, and I was like, oh man, I knocked it out of the park with that one. Like, I can't wait to hear from them. And I did not get that job. I instead.
That is such a good lesson for young actors.
Yeah, the road is winding and confusing. But what ended up happening was I went down to DC that same summer after seeing Be More Chill twice and loving it. And I went down to DC, did what would become Dear Evan Hansen, spent a few years doing that. And then as I was in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, I got a call one morning in March. It was my birthday. And it was Joe Iconis saying, hey, we're doing Be More Chill off Broadway this summer, and we would like to offer you the role of Jeremy. So I guess I did get it eventually. It just took a long time.
Yes. So this fan base for Be More Chill, which feels like a young adult science fiction novel come to life, which it is.
Yeah.
It is based on a young adult science fiction novel.
For sure.
But it very much has that spirit to it, and the fans of that type of fiction basically willed this show from New Jersey to off-Broadway to Broadway. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we got like memed all the way to the Great White Way. So they did this production in New Jersey. What had happened down there was it was this incredible thing where everyone who'd seen it was like, oh my God, like this is it. This show's gonna go all the way. It's so good. And there were local young people who lived in Red Bank, New Jersey, where it happened, who saw the show like 6-7 times in its 4-week run. And that was just sort of it. And they decided at the end, they said, you know what, let's make a cast album of this. We feel like this was such an incredible piece that we created here. Let's preserve it for posterity and put it out there. And they put that out in the fall of 2015. And then truly, authentically, without any help from like a marketing agency, this album started to go viral on its own. And what had happened was this, young, energetic fan base was discovering this album and in a very old school way with very new school technology, just sharing it with each other. It was word of mouth. It was all these people saying, oh my God, do you know this show? You have to listen to this show. And that just grew and grew and grew until someone said, we should do a production of this. And that was, what we did last summer off Broadway, and we've gone all the way. We're in the end zone on Broadway now.
You've been championed by one of your producers is one of my favorite social media presences in the Broadway world, Jennifer Tepper.
She's the greatest.
And she has been a big champion of this and doing it right and getting the right cast, right, moving forward?
Yeah. So Jen and I have known each other since 2008. And she and Joe Iconis and I have been doing shows together since 2010. We've done full-blown musicals and concerts in basements. Our relationship with our producers is so exciting because, there's this sort of old school notion of producers being like, these rotund men smoking cigars in darkened rooms and trying to destroy artists and steal their property, but this is such a collaborative effort. Our producers are here to create the show just as much as the actors are, and the writers and the director. We're all here contributing to this sort of thing, which has in many ways taken on a life of its own, and we are just sort of infusing our own life into it.
You must feel very fortunate to have had 2 experiences with brand new musicals of this sort with the kind of collaborative process both of these have had.
Fortunate is the understatement of the year. I am keenly aware that many extremely talented, extremely successful actors go through their whole career and never have the experience that I am having in these last 5 years. And so I am very much on cloud 9. To go from, this sort of the experience that was Dear Evan Hansen, and to have that be my Broadway debut and have that be many people's introduction to me. So to have people sort of get to be introduced to me and my work in that way, and then to be able to truly just like skip the stone into this project with some of my oldest and dearest friends that I care so passionately about. And the world of Be More Chill is so fantastical and so larger than life, and that's the kind of work that I'm so keenly interested in. I love Wes Anderson movies, and I love all kinds of sci-fi and magical realism, and I love stuff where the world has rules that are wider than the rules of our own world, and then I love to see really human people exist in these fantastical worlds, and I think Be More Chill does that on Broadway in a way that, very rarely happens.
Well, along with all of your stage success, you are doing more and more television and film work. In fact, you're going to be seen in a story arc throughout season 4 of Billions coming up on Showtime.
The Billions thing has been so much fun for me. I love working with the people over there. I get to do a lot of work with Asia Kate Dillon, who is just the coolest actor in the world. But the whole Billions thing was very crazy because the showrunners came to see Dear Evan Hansen, and they were like, this kid, he's great. And so they had me come in and audition for this thing that was supposed to be just a day on set, and we really just all hit it off. And as they tell it to me, they wrote the next 2 episodes that I would be in while I was on set that day. They sort of wrote those scenes in, and I just have loved working on that show, and it's opened my sort of perspective about how I can create art and how I can contribute and make these kinds of characters that I want to make.
Well, Will, very fortunate, very busy guy, and very deserving of it. And I hope folks will go see Be More Chill on Broadway right now and watch for you in season 4 of Billions on Showtime. Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Jamie.